When a young woman's trembling voice note leaks online hours after she vanishes, an entire nation freezes. Her words expose a dark secret, and the man everyone thought was perfect. But what if the victim planned it all? Join me as we uncover the truth behind her last voice note, the story that Durban will never forget.
Tales of Africa by Mrprince.
Mom, if you're hearing this, it means I'm gone. Those were the first words in the voice note that spread like wildfire through the streets of Durban. Everyone who heard it froze. Her voice trembled weak, but clear enough to carry a secret no one was ready for. Her name was Zanile Khumalo, a 23-year-old university student with dreams bigger than her small-town roots. At first, people thought it was a prank. But when her phone was found beside the river, cracked and covered in mud, the laughter stopped. The police confirmed what everyone feared: Zanile was missing. The voice note continued, "Please don't believe what they say about me. I didn't run away. He said he'd kill me if I told anyone." Her voice broke, followed by a soft sob. Then, silence. By nightfall, the entire town gathered around radios, phones, and TVs, waiting for the truth. Who was he? And why did Zanile sound like she had already accepted her fate? The next morning, her mother received another message from an unknown number. It read only 5 chilling words. She should have stayed quiet. Before she vanished, Zanile was known as the girl who had it all: beauty, brains, and a boyfriend every girl envied. His name was Sibusiso Dlamini, a charming young man from a wealthy family who ran a car dealership in the city. Together, they looked perfect on social media, all smiles, matching clothes, and luxury dates. But behind those filters was something darker. Friends whispered that Zanile often showed up with bruises she blamed on accidents. Her best friend Thando once caught her crying in the restroom, clutching her phone and whispering, "He'll destroy me if I leave." Sibusiso was the kind of man who smiled sweetly in public, but had a storm behind his eyes. When Zanile tried to end things, he became possessive, accusing her of cheating and threatening to end her shamefully. The night she disappeared, neighbors heard shouting from her flat, a man's voice, then a loud thud. No one dared to check. Now, with the voice note trending across the country, people started connecting the dots. But what no one knew was that Zanile had planned everything, even that chilling voice note, as her final act of revenge. Zanile had been living 2 lives. One for the world, and one in secret. While she smiled online, she was secretly recording every threat, every slap, every insult from Sibusiso. She had grown tired of hiding her pain behind makeup and forced laughter. 1 week before she disappeared, she met a journalist named Lerato Masiko, who was working on a documentary about gender-based violence in South Africa. Zanile agreed to share her story, on one condition: if anything happened to her, Lerato must release the recordings. That was the real reason behind her last voice note. It wasn't just a cry for help, it was her trigger, a message to Lerato that the clock had started. But Zanile wasn't naive. She knew Sibusiso would find out. He had spies, friends in the police, and a short temper. She knew her life was in danger, yet she refused to run. Her final message wasn't about fear. It was about justice. She wanted her voice to outlive her body. And it did, more than she could ever imagine. Because 3 days later, Lerato received a package with a flash drive labeled, "Truth for Zanile." Lerato hesitated before opening the drive. She already knew the risks. Sibusiso's family was powerful, and she had received warnings to let the story die. But something about Zanil's trembling voice haunted her. The recordings were brutal. In one, Sibusiso's voice thundered, "You think anyone will believe you? You're nothing without me." Then came the sound of a slap and Zanil's soft sobs. In another clip, he confessed to staging car accidents to scare her into obedience. Lorotto knew this was gold and danger. She uploaded one short audio clip online, hiding her identity. Within hours, it went viral. The hashtag Justice for Zanil flooded every platform. Women shared their own stories. Men were divided, some defended Sibusiso, others called for his arrest. But while the nation debated, Sibusiso panicked. He hired people to find Lorotto, offering huge money for her silence. The twist came when Lorotto received a text from an unknown number. "She's not dead. Meet me alone tonight." For the first time, Lorotto wondered, had she been telling the wrong story all along? Lorotto followed the message's directions to an old motel outside Durban. Her heart pounded as she opened the door to room 8. There, sitting by the window with trembling hands and a tear-streaked face, was Zanil. "Alive. I couldn't die," she whispered. "He thought he did it, but I crawled away." Lorotto was speechless. Zanil told her everything, how Sibusiso pushed her down the stairs, how she hit her head and blacked out. He left her for dead near the river, then spread the story of her disappearance. But Zanil had planned ahead. She hid in a friend's cousin's house, watching the chaos unfold online. "Let the world hear his monster voice," she said with cold calmness. Lorotto begged her to go to the police, but Zanil refused. "The law won't protect me. I'll protect myself." When Lorotto drove away that night, she didn't realize Zanil had already sent her final recording to every major news station. At sunrise, the whole country heard Zanil say, "He will confess, or I'll make him disappear." Sibusiso's world collapsed overnight. His face flooded social media, his voice filled radio stations, and reporters camped outside his house. His family disowned him, his business was vandalized, and his friends vanished. When police finally picked him up, he laughed in their faces. "You can't prove anything," he said. But then, something unexpected happened. Zanil appeared at the station. Alive. Calm. Beautifully dressed in white. She looked him in the eye and said softly, "I forgive you." Cameras flashed. Reporters screamed. Sibusiso froze, speechless. For a brief moment, the nation thought it was over, a happy ending. But later that night, he was found in his cell, lifeless with a note beside him. She said she forgave me, but her eyes said otherwise. The public called it karma. Lorotto called it poetic justice. But deep inside, Zanil knew the truth. Some wounds don't heal. Some ghosts never leave. And some forgiveness is a quiet form of revenge. After Sibusiso's death, Zanil became a national symbol. Women wore t-shirts with her face, songs were written about her, and interviews poured in. But behind her fame was emptiness. She smiled on TV but cried at night. Every time she closed her eyes, she heard his voice, laughing, taunting. Guilt and anger mixed like poison in her veins. "Did I push him too far?" she asked Lorotto once. Lorotto only said, "You gave him what he gave you, fear." Soon, rumors started that Zanil had helped his death. Some claimed she visited him that night, others said he took his own life out of shame. The truth? Only she knew. 1 month later, Zanil disappeared again, this time for real. All she left behind was a new voice note. This isn't about revenge anymore. It's about peace. Don't look for me. It was uploaded to her verified page, and then her account vanished. South Africa mourned her, again. A year later, Lerato released Zaniel's final documentary, her last voice note. It opened with the same haunting line. Mom, if you're hearing this, it means I'm gone. But this time, the film showed her full journey, not as a victim, but as a warrior who used her pain to shake a nation. It sparked laws, shelters, and campaigns for abused women across Africa. Her story became a revolution. No one ever found her body. Some said she fled to Ghana. Others swore they saw her at a women's rally in Cape Town, wearing a hood. But Lerato knew the truth. Zaniel didn't die. She simply chose silence over noise. Her last message to the world was simple. When your voice is all you have, make sure it shakes the earth. And it did. Zaniel's story reminds us that silence protects the guilty, but truth heals the broken and awakens the world. Real courage is not in revenge, but in rising with purpose after pain. Her voice turned fear into fire, sorrow into strength, and death into destiny. When one woman dares to speak, she becomes the echo of 1,000 unheard cries. Your story, no matter how painful, can be the light that saves others from darkness. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, let it move through others. Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more real African tales.